Maryland fired its head football coach, DJ Durkin, yesterday. This is just a day after the school announced it was keeping DJ Durkin. Durkin and the program have been in the middle of an investigation after one of his players, 19-year-old Jordan McNair, died during practice from a heat stroke. His body temperature went up to 107 degrees. It seems the school reacted to the criticism and moved on from Durkin. Were they firing Durkin because that was the right thing to do, or did they fire him because members of the media, the student body, and players reminded the border regions that was the right thing to do? Once again, we're forced to question the ethics of college football, and it's not the first time. It won't be the last time. A young man is dead, and nothing is going to change that. But my hope is the way this played out, maybe it's a teaching moment. I know that we look at these coaches and feel like they have to be, Lombardi or Newt Rockne, and this is the way you do it, and this is the way it was done, and you got to go out there and you got to toughen them up there. Teams have to go as far as they can to protect these young men. And when you go into somebody's living room and say you're going to protect them and maybe send them back home as a man, then you should live up to that. Whether DJ Durkin had direct or indirect responsibility here, he's out of a job. And I think that we all look at college football. We love college football. We grew up with college football, and every Saturday you're watching it. And sometimes it shows the best in young athletes and in coaches, in fans. Often it shows the worst of people in power. And really, that's what it comes down to. I think we get caught up in, how these kids, they want money and they're getting paid by boosters or shoe companies. And you know who fails college athletics? Grown-ups. It's not the kids. When you've had these moments where somebody needs to make a decision and be responsible, look at what happened at Michigan State or Penn State, Ohio State. I'm just talking about the Big Ten. It's the grown-ups who fail us. It's all about the money. And that's what this was about. Money, potential lawsuit, paying him off. He's got, a couple of years left on a $5 million contract. You brought him in because you liked his personality. He was a tough guy. He's going to toughen us up. We got to get tougher to play in the Big Ten. Well, did he deliver what you asked him to deliver? Did you fire him? Did you make the right decision for the wrong reasons? Because you brought him back. And then you fire him. Why? Because of the reaction that people had, the media coverage. And that's why you fired him. Shouldn't have been brought back in the first place. If you thought that there was a toxic culture there, then why'd you bring him back? He's not a good coach. At least his record doesn't prove it. If he's 15-10, then maybe you bring him back because he's 15-10. He's 10-15. You're Maryland football, for God's sakes. Get a clue. You're not any good. But did you fire him? Did you make the right reason? Did you fire him, make the right decision for the wrong reason? Is he being fired for what? Because the report shows that, he wasn't involved in the treatment of Jordan McNair. Now, you can say that he hired the people and they were taking precautions. And I think if you're going to look at the history of this, the timeline, what is he guilty of? When is he guilty of that? Is he now guilty of indirectly being responsible with killing Jordan McNair? He's going to sue you. I thought, and there was somebody who is affiliated with the program who told me yesterday when we were done with the show, that their hope was that he would resign. And I went, well, what kind of game plan is that? That if he resigned, which I said yesterday, that's what he should do. For the betterment of the program and for himself to move forward, because there's no way he could stay in that job. But he wanted to get paid. Hey, if you want me gone, then you're going to pay me. And then I'm going to sue you. And maybe that's how this plays out. I don't know. Still, you come back to, there's a 19-year-old young man who's dead. But you also had a culture there that has to be addressed. Could you fire him just for that? A toxic culture. Could you fire him because he's 10-15? Or did you fire him because everybody said, wait, what are you doing? Like you're grown men and you're making these decisions. And then the Board of Regents saying, well, it was a really tough decision. No, it wasn't. In the beginning, if you suspend him or you decide after an investigation, you'd fire him. And then you bring him back and then you go, oh, wait a minute. People aren't happy about this. You had players who weren't going to play on Saturday. There was going to be protest. Do you have a PR firm? Do you have somebody who says, hey, by the way, here's where the heat's coming from, guys. Right? If we keep him, what's going to happen? Who's going to respond? And then they found out who was going to respond, and then they went, well, he's fired. Wait, he's fired. It just handled so poorly. And these are the adults in the room. The adults in the room, and they're supposed to be the ones that take responsibility. They're the ones that are the leaders. They take care of your kids when they go to school. They tell you they're going to do that, and then they don't. Do you realize that if you wanted to talk to investigators, there was a sign-up sheet? It was right by the coach's door. It's called intimidation, folks. Who's going to talk to the investigators? Hey, we got a sign-up sheet right here, right by the coach's door. Oh, there's no anonymity here. No, there couldn't be any repercussions. This couldn't affect your career. Come on in, sign up, go talk to the investigators. Oh, man. Every time we look at what's going on and what's wrong with college athletics, how many times do we say, oh, those kids, they're taking money, their family's taking money. Agents, they're ruining it. Oh, they want to unionize. No, that's not the problem. Grown-ups are the problem here.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.